Hey guys, Condi here, and we're not going to be doing a Let's Play today. Today we're going to be talking about Final Fantasy 15.
Alrighty then. So the next question on the list I got for you, especially because you had more to say about this than I do, I think, is the controls for the fighting. How the fighting went. Now this was really different.
Yeah, it was.
So what did you think?
Other Final Fantasies other than 13 have had the active time battling, which is like you choose what you want to do. Turn-based. Yeah, it was all turn-based.
It was turn-based, and then they did whatever that other thing was called, where it was still turn-based, but they tried to make it not seem.
So the first thing I have to say about the fighting is I never used wait mode. Never once used wait mode. I let Ignis do all of my Libra stuff.
Okay.
I thought it was I thought that is one thing I will say. I wish they made wait mode easier accessible. You have to press start, go through the menu, turn wait mode off, do it, go back to your game, do the Libra, press the start, go back into wait mode, turn it off. And I don't want to do that for every enemy.
It was I'm assuming it was meant more toward like an enemy you had difficulty with, maybe?
Maybe, but I didn't use it at all. Mm-hmm. Actually, no, I used it once, and that was on the Behemoth.
Okay, well.
That was it.
And it was, okay. So it was a system that was, I don't know, I didn't use it a lot either. I don't know if there was a quick mode to do it that I was unaware of.
And like even on the grid, I call it a sphere grid, the thing.
You're prejudiced because you're 10, I know.
Yeah. But I never used the wait mode like thing on the grid. So I don't know. But with the fighting, I thought it was kind of easy. I thought it was very just hit circle over and over and over and over and over again. Not in the beginning, no. But once you got more powerful, it was hit circle over and over and over again. Switch your weapon, teleport. Like, I don't know. It didn't feel Final Fantasy to me, and I think that's what it was.
Now, as a question to that, do you think that maybe, because I personally found it really difficult in the beginning because it was so new, and then once I get used to it, I think I know what you mean. But do you think that the incentive they had for the after you would complete a battle, it would give you a grade on each one? Finesse usually had to do with how well you did all of the procedures and switching weapons and stuff. Do you think that made you want to try harder instead of just attack, or did that just not matter to you?
Honestly, sometimes it really didn't matter to me.
It didn't matter?
Sometimes it did because I didn't know how to get them sometimes. So there'd be times where I'd get A+, and I'm just like, oh yeah, but then there'd be times where I had the same exact fight, and I got an A, a D, and a A. Okay. And I'm just like, okay, I feel like I did the exact same thing.
Now, in case anybody is a little lost on that one, essentially, if you don't know the game, every time you go into a fight, after you complete, it gives you a 3, I think it's the amount of
finesse,
like strength,
and damage, I think, or something like
yeah,
you weren't hit.
It gave you a little report
card. A grade.
That I don't know if it affected anything. Again, correct us if we're wrong. The amount of experience.
Yes.
Okay, so it
gave you more
experience. It was important. So it was a piece that I think, or me again, made me want to try a lot harder.
Okay, I have a question for you. What did you think about being able to use items easily? Like literally. You could use item. I never died.
Yeah. I actually did find I was running out of items a couple of times.
Never ran out of
items. That might have been my own messing up and not restocking when I should have. And they do even remind you a couple of times when you get out of the car.
Yeah, he's like, hey, we need to go restock on items.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah. So,
I thought, again, that was another reason I thought it was a little too... I never died.
Yeah.
I never died.
A little too simplistic for your tastes. And I had some struggle moments, but there's another piece we'll talk about that also helped when you were almost dead.
Yes, we will talk about that afterwards.
Yeah, but I think that we've hit the fighting pretty good.
Yeah.
We're going to move on. All right. So, next thing we're going to talk about is the characters. We're going to go into more detail into each of the main four. We're going to start with the main four. We might go into some other ones in a little bit.
There might be a few spoilers here.
Yeah. This has got some spoilers in it. We're not... We'll probably go pretty deep with each one, to be honest. Because they're all really interactive.
There's so much to them.
Big character development for each person, and they just full of life, really good job on these in general. So we're going to go one by one, and we kind of have like a favorites thing, like them more than the other, whatever it may be. So we're going to kind of go back and forth with
But
each
both of
one.
us like them all.
Yeah, that's another big thing.
We like them all.
We love all four of these characters a lot. So when we're saying go back and forth and everything like that, it's just preference of wanting to talk about different ones.
Yeah.
So we're going to start off with your personal favorite, Prompto.
I love him.
Those that do not know anything about him at all, he's the blonde photographer if you see any of the pictures. So,
who used to be fat.
Yeah.
Funny enough. Yeah, I love his character development. So I watched Brotherhood, which Brotherhood is the anime of why these four became friends. If you haven't seen it, watch it. It's great.
Recommended.
And first of all, they show Prompto, and he's this little fat, blonde-haired kid who doesn't have any friends. He loves to take pictures. He befriends a dog, and the dog becomes his best friend, and he tries to become friends with Noctis. Well, Noctis was just like, you're kind of heavy.
Yeah.
And it really upset him.
He's kind of a jerk.
And so he literally trained all day, every day, and lost weight. Now he looks like how he looks now.
Actually, the skinniest of the four.
Yep, and he's the goofiest of the four.
Easily.
But I love Prompto. I think he easily has one of the best character developments in this game. And I feel he's best friends with Noct. You can tell that him and Noct are like this. Yeah. Like, they really do care about one another. And Noctis Noctis shows that there's a scene in one of the I won't say too much, but there's a scene in one of the towns, and Prompto's not feeling so great. He looks depressed, and he asks Noctis, "Why are you friends with me?"
Yeah.
He asks Noctis why.
A deep question.
Yeah, and he asks him why he let him join him, because he's not part of the King's Guard.
Mm-hmm.
Prompto is literally just Noctis' friend walking around with him.
Yeah. He
knows how to use a gun. That's really about it.
Which you'll also notice means he does the least amount of damage.
He did a lot of damage for me.
I'll go into it later.
He did a lot.
He died a lot for me.
He didn't have a lot of health. But yeah, and I love his photos.
Yep.
The photos just brought so much to this game.
Gigantic part of this game.
His selfies were always so goofy. He loved taking picture with his chocobo. If you do not do the side quests for the chocobo, you have to.
You're wrong. Figured out.
You really need those. You cannot do this game without a chocobo. But
someone just went challenge accepted.
Right.
And you're a bad person, whoever you are.
He's just such a happy person, but deep down you realize he's not a happy person.
Yeah. Now
he's happy with them.
You mentioned photography. Go into a little more of that with him, how each character has their own. That's his thing.
Yeah. So Prompto has photography, and I don't know. His is just. I love how he literally just takes pictures of everything. Throughout what you did in the day, you can have a funny picture of you stabbing a random guy in the face, and Prompto will just be like, "Ha, I remember when you did that. That's a good picture." And you're just like,
yeah. You look over these pictures. You look over these pictures every time you go to sleep. and
there was one point where Prompto took a picture of Gladio looking at a girl's ass, and Gladio went, and Prompto went, "Really, Gladio? Really?" And you're just like, they actually added that? That is so cool.
And the interactions between them is another huge piece that it's just...
They just talk, the voice actors must have loved this. I feel like they had to have.
Yeah.
They had to act like they were bros.
And it's so close. The way that they do it is so good. that you feel like you're in the group, you know?
You're with them.
You're sitting down while they're all chit-chatting, and you're right there, and you're listening to the interactions, and you're just like, that's funny, or, ooh, blow there, buddy. You know.
And I found myself talking to my screen a lot, like,
Yeah.
oh, damn, really? You gotta do that? Or shit like that. And it was just, Prompto always was the life of the group. He brought the funny, he brought the light, because after chapter 1, it's not so light. This game is very dark.
What was it, Bustabase?
It's Bustabase?
Bustabase.
It's Bustabase.
That's what Prompto says when you take down the first base.
Right! Yes, Bustabase. Or when you're around the Chocobo area, I want to ride my Chocobo all day, and you're just
he's
like...
so much... He's a giant bubbly character.
Yeah, and I love him. He also loves Chocobos. Like, loves Chocobos to the point of I love Chocobos. And he makes me happy.
Yeah, and
he
that's
honestly
what he's there
makes
for.
me happy. He has his moments where he gets depressed and he talks to you, but then you realize he's a great friend, and I would love to have a friend like this. I mean, I do have a friend like this. He's not as bubbly as Prompto, but
No, not quite. No, I don't know many people that are.
no, right?
He's super positive.
But, and this is where I'm going to get into a few spoilers. Prompto isn't human.
Yeah.
And at the end, you're almost tested. You're like, so do you still see me as a friend? Like, and you're just like, dude, it doesn't matter what you are.
Yeah.
Like, you're Prompto. You are my boy. You are my bro.
You're kind of a big deal.
And now you're a freaking demon thing? Like, that's just badass. That's just cool. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's just cool.
Prompto was the life of the party, and he had the jokes. He was the complainer sometimes, but it was kind of one of those where you
His complaints
you
were hilarious.
you felt positive to tell him shut up.
One of my favorite things, he's like, oh, I really want to go to the crow's nest. I'm hungry. And Ignis is like, do you want to get fat again? And he's just like, you're right. And it's just those little blows, and it's just like, that's only a really good friend could say that.
Oh, man.
But that's why Prompto's my favorite. And so, James, who's your favorite?
My favorite. It's got to be Gladio.
Yeah, I can see that.
Gladio is my favorite because each one of the characters they do have a significant stereotype to them, but to be honest, it's like a stereotype that's
Pretty boy.
it seems like all four of them are pretty boys.
Yeah.
But they're the different kinds of guys that like a girl would go for. You've got your big tough guy, your super goofy guy, your dignified,
Prince.
guy, and then you're like kind of your. I think the prince kind of falls more into one of those like trying to run away from what dad wants me to do, Sasuke-ish.
I was just about to say he reminds me a lot of Sasuke,
especially the floofy hair and everything. But getting more into Gladio, his position in the group is he is the bodyguard. There are really two. Ignis is the other, but he's really the one that is the. Whenever Noctis is talking to somebody that's a little more sketchy, he's right there at his shoulder, kind of even more so in front of him.
And he was hired as a bodyguard.
And it's like, people will flip a coin to the prince, and his hand comes up to stop it, because he doesn't really trust anybody. He wants to make sure that the prince is safe. That is still his number one concern. He's buddies with people. He loves to give life lessons, as they all do. But
especially when you're sitting in the middle of a volcano.
His big piece is toughen the prince up, get him not to, complain so often, deal with situations you've been handed. Sometimes they're going to suck.
Oh, yeah.
And if you just sit there and whine about it, which unfortunately Prompto can kind of make Noct get on the wine train sometimes. Gladio is the tall, muscle, scar-faced, enough. He's the keeps everything.
Yeah.
Cut out the complaining. We'll deal with this like men. So he's the big manly man one.
I forgot about something. Kind of another spoiler. Prompto, real quick. He gets captured. Noctis goes insane.
Yes.
Noctis literally goes insane. He's like, I need to find my best friend. And so that's for all of them.
Yeah.
They're such close.
They're all really close. Because that's the weird part is you see each character develop. But the primary thing is, even though they have the relationship, Nock's a prince.
Yeah.
He's royalty. And you're his bodyguard, so let's be serious. You work for him, but they're close friends. And they managed to get that relationship down perfectly.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, as you mentioned before, Prompto is the friend.
The friend.
He doesn't technically work as the King's Guard. He's not his bodyguard, per se. He's his really good buddy that will be his bodyguard when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
But Gladio, a couple of the other reasons I like him is he seems like this really simple character. He's the tall, dark, really serious, always worried about these kinds of things. But he does have
hanging out.
Yeah, he does, and he's the bigger one.
Yeah.
So he's like and with the giganto sword. So you're like, he's the one you don't want to mess with. And he seems almost like your linear character. But then certain things happen where he happens to have a really soft side for certain foods, like the cup of noodles. He has some really deep parts, and I won't spoil that particular part, but just know, cup of noodles are very important in Gladio.
So important.
Let no arguments hold that up. So
I love it.
there are lots of parts where he's teaching, but at the same time, he learns a lot too. He tries to do a lot of things the way you would expect the bodyguard to do, and he is proven wrong a couple of times.
In the beginning, did you beat him in the race?
No.
I did.
No. You did?
I did.
That was really hard.
I beat him in the race.
I absolutely did not.
I did.
Well, that was an introductory to the training procedures.
To stamina.
The training procedures, where it was each person can kind of do a couple different things. He isn't your only trainer.
No.
But he introduces that aspect of it. But the other piece is just like with Prompto, and he has photography. Gladio has his own, which we were going to talk about before, so bringing that back around. His is pretty simply called survival. And you level it up just by walking around. The more physical walking around you do, the faster it levels up. If you use a chocobo, it still levels up, but slowly. And if you're in the car, it slows to a crawl. I don't even know if it moves. I don't think it does.
It doesn't. It also levels up a lot when you battle.
Yeah, his is pretty straightforward to where it sounds really complicated to implement in a game, where his is just after a battle, sometimes just walking around, he finds items.
Yep. And
they're just added to your inventory. They start to get better and better, so if you do a lot of walking around, specifically before the end of the campaign, or the storyline, we'll say, you've got tons and tons of items all the time. Whereas that doesn't always happen if you're moving toward the storyline quicker. So in my case, where I kind of jumped the storyline and then stopped in one position and tried to do a bunch of hunts, I got my butt kicked because I didn't have a lot of the items, and I kept getting my butt kicked over and over for that. But his survival trait does make things 100 times easier.
Oh yeah.
Truth be told.
Oh yeah.
So, but that's kind of the big piece for Gladio. Bodyguard, a little more quiet, loves to dig people.
You're forgetting about somebody.
What part?
His sister.
Well, okay, we can add her into that. That's a
because she's huge into just how he acts.
That is true. He has a big protective instinct that he tries to kind of hide behind the cool, she'll be fine type of thing. But multiple times he kind of gets caught up, really caring about her, and showing it and worrying and like, we need to go do this, and he will pull you aside if you take too long getting to her because he wants to check on his sister.
Yep.
So it's fairly obvious that he's very protective, very caring, and has no problem with any of these friends being around her. It's kind of that you wouldn't want to try to date her with a big brother like that, but he doesn't seem to have a problem with certain other members talking to her. So it's a very protective but very loving. And truth be told, she doesn't take any shit from him.
No, she does not.
She will tell him. She
is very strong in herself.
She runs the show. He'll try to protect her, but when she says, cut it out, Gladdy, he cuts it out.
Stop it, Gladdy.
So it's very different because he's huge, she's small, and to see him kind of, oh yeah, you're right, sis, type of situation. Great character.
Yeah.
The big, huge heart on the inside, but coated in iron when it needs to be.
Oh yeah.
Love the character myself.
Gladio's really cool.
Yeah.
I really respected him as a character. I really liked him. I loved it when when you meet him after he disappears for a little while, and you're just like, "Hey, I'm gonna help you," and Noctis is just like, "Why does that voice sound familiar?" And right away, I was just like, "I know who that is."
It was such a
cool.
a cutesy little way to put it back in. I was like, "Yeah, next you go."
It was cool. I liked it.
So, alrighty then. My second favorite character is Ignis. Ignis comes off at first kind of like the posh voice of reason, almost a little butlerish, because he likes to do the driving, and he's like I don't trust you to do the driving kind of part. He's got the white gloves and the very straight, he's got the glasses, the very good posture and everything.
Pristine.
And just the way he speaks. He has kind of a butlery side to him.
Oh, yeah, he does.
And he's also the cook.
He also has an accent.
So, he does. As far as the stereotypes, as far as the guys go, he is anybody that likes the scholar type, the incredibly intelligent glasses wearing. As again, the graphic side, they're all, beautifully designed characters, therefore they're attractive male characters. So he's
This was the complete opposite of 10-2.
Yeah, this is the complete opposite of 10-2, definitely. That one was
all the attractive males in this game, all the attractive females in 10-2.
Yeah. So this was an interesting choice, and I'd have to say he probably sticks out the most because of the accent and because he almost seems like he knows what's going on, in charge of the situation, but at the same time he on multiple occasions insists that Noct make the decisions. And a couple of times Gladio will ask Ignis, "What do we do?" Or Prompto will be like, "Ignis, what do you think?" And he will say, "That's up to Noct."
Yep.
So he also has kind of the tutoring, teaching
trying
thing
to make
for Noct.
Be a prince.
Be a leader.
He needs to be the leader. He really does.
And sometimes Noct may not like that, but Ignis's character is short and simple. It's okay, that's up to Noct. And nobody argues. They just, you're right.
He's the prince there.
He reminds people of things.
Yeah.
And he will also remind Noct or any of the others how their behavior might reflect things.
He doesn't sugarcoat things.
He doesn't. He's very honest, but he's also if somebody does something maybe the wrong way, he makes sure they remember this is still royalty.
Yep.
And we need to pay attention to that part. You need to act like royalty. You need to act like a bodyguard. You need to stop being so friendly and making him whine. Or my personal favorite, Noct, did you sew that button back onto your shirt?
I've never heard that.
It is the greatest interaction in the entire game for me personally.
That's hilarious.
It goes on. It's, Noct, you're missing a button. Oh, I'll sew it back on later. Okay, fine.
I never got that.
A while later, did you sew the button back onto your shirt? No, I forgot. Give me it when we return.
I'm upset that I never got that.
It's so much fun.
That's awesome.
The fun that they have with each other is outstanding. Now, my absolute favorite part about him is that he's a constant. People think that maybe the photography is the biggest part of the game. I disagree. Survival, nobody argues that. Fishing could be argued. Not the case. The food. The cooking is one of my favorite parts of the game. It's important. They made it important for several different reasons, and it's all throughout the game. You can find ingredients out in the wild, like berries and peppers.
I loved that about it. Mm-hmm. That wild, food grew.
And it was so cool that you could, and some of them were rare. You had to go up crazy places to find them. But the fact that every once in a while you'd find the correct, ingredients that would go together, and suddenly you would just hear, and one of the other characters would have a different thing. What's up, Ignis? And then you'd hear, I've come up with a new recipe. And that always excited everybody else because they were like, oh,
yay, we got new food.
We know you're a good cook. I want to try it.
Yep.
So that made you feel like, okay,
we got a new thing to try.
This is interesting. I want to see what it is. Because it wouldn't show you what it looks like right then and there.
Nope, you got to go to a
So you had to wait. And that would sometimes you'd slay certain animals that were food items, like that beef and stuff like that. So it was very, very involved the whole game.
You do the hunts, you get the food
Exactly.
for what you make, yeah.
And but this also came in with another important piece of the experience in the game. You could gain experience pretty much indefinitely.
Yep.
You wouldn't gain it and actually level up with it until you slept. You also...
That's an interesting part of this game.
But definitely new, yeah.
Yeah. You didn't level up until you went to bed.
Yeah, and it was something you could take advantage of.
Yeah.
In certain ways.
Yeah.
But something that they implemented to make you want to sleep was the food. Yes, it was really cool to have him cook the food and everything like that.
You had to find a campsite. You couldn't eat.
That is also true.
At a hotel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. Anywhere with the experience bonuses.
Yep.
If you slept in a building,
they
would
gave
get
like 2.0 experience bonus, but you wouldn't get to eat.
Exactly.
So you wouldn't have the buff.
So that was the point. Was that you'd be like, well, if you don't get an experience bonus, what's the whole purpose of eating in a way that you might not be power leveling? Every time you would eat when Ignis would cook, each meal gave some kind of a bonus.
Yeah.
Resistance to fire, maybe some extra XP during the day. You could
strength up by like 250.
Yeah, huge bonuses. So it was an important part of the game. But to me, one of the biggest parts of that was after he would cook it, it would show it up on the table, and they looked good.
You got hungry.
Oh my god! Even the things like French fries, something so simple, it rolls over onto the screen, and you're just like, I need to go get French fries.
I have it on my Facebook. IGN did a thing where they actually remade a bunch of the food.
I had a feeling that was
from Final Fantasy before the game even came out.
I had a feeling
they remade a bunch of the food because it's so easy to like. It's not easy to make, but it looks so real that you can find stuff that would look like
and
it.
It just looked so appetizing.
My favorite thing was this like buffalo meat sandwich. I don't know what it was. Noctis's favorite.
Yeah, he loved all the sandwiches actually.
And I wanted one.
Yeah.
Like every single time, it was like a flat piece of bread with a big piece of meat and just like a sprig of like something. Yeah. And it looked delicious.
So to be able to do that in a game,
wanted it so
make
bad.
The different foods that were appetizing looking for the player to the point where I would want to eat it and would make me hungry was another way to make it so that when you stopped for the night, you might want to not go over to the double XP or time and a half XP.
Yeah, you might risk finding a demon.
So you'd go out to the campsites instead because it was just awesome. One of my favorite things about the game.
I have a horror story from that, though. I was going because I loved campsites and I wanted to eat. But the night had come. Well, a demon level 95 came up from the ground.
Ooh.
You know the wall demons from every Final Fantasy?
With the hands
with the hands and the, like, Anubis-like head?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that attacked me.
Never saw one of those.
One hit? 5,000 damage.
And just so you know, demon categories do include tonberries.
Yeah, those were weird.
Yeah.
I fought those.
Mm-hmm.
You have to fight them.
They had the knife thing.
Yeah.
If they bap, you're down.
Yeah.
They had the little knives, but if they did the charging up one and then stab, instant down.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh. I did meet the tonberries.
They did implement the tonberries in.
But I met the demon wall, and I ran him from it.
Good idea.
Yeah, no. So sometimes you might not want to go to the camp, but you want to go to the camp.
It had its bonuses. It had its reasons that you'd want to go.
Yeah. Especially if there's a camp far away and you're just like...
Yeah.
Because even driving, demons come up when you're driving.
Yep.
They come up in the middle of the road, and you have to fight them.
You can't get by them.
You can't run away.
So as a point to that on the campfires while we're at it, I do wish, as an implement for power leveling, I wish that they put in some kind of a negative for staying up for days on end. Because you could stay up for
That'd be cool, yeah.
You could stay up for 4 days and just rack up tons of XP and then go to a place that would times by 2 and get ridiculous and level.
3 actually in
the
Golden Key. There's a 10,000. It's 10,000 gil to stay. but you get 3 times the experience.
No, Galden was 2.
Golden Key.
You're thinking of the final place. Yeah, Golden Key was just 2. That was 10,000.
Oh, it was 2?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. That one was 2 for 10,000.
I think there was a 3 in the big city.
I kind of was just clicking because I needed a place to stay and clicked that, and I went, shit, did that just say it was 10,000? And I looked at my gil and I had like 50 gil left, and I was like...
And that was one of the other feelings too, as we're getting into it. When you first get to that place, you're like, oh, I'm tired, I want to go to bed. This place is so fancy, it's so nice. I'll get something to eat. And you go over to the food, and it's
expensive.
Like 4,000. You're like, never mind.
And money in this game isn't easy to come by. I will say that. It gets easier when you get to do the photography challenges. You get a lot of money. Hunts give you money
Hunts
too.
Were big.
But it's... But back to Ignis, I went off topic
then
there.
Then you go back to that sleeping place after you try to get the food and you can't afford it. And then you go to the place and it's like, oh, it's $10,000 for a night.
Yeah.
And you're like...
That's when you go find the campfire.
I guess I'll go camp out in the rain.
Yeah.
Because I'm poor and I'm a prince.
I was sad when it was raining and didn't show him cooking the food.
I agree. But it was also realistic.
Did you get the training with Ignis?
Yes.
Where Noctis cooks food?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, I got a training. This is why I love this game. Everybody's everybody's game is different.
Yep.
No, there was a... Ignis taught Noctis how to cook. I cooked stew. And I had to continuously stir the pot. It was great. I loved it. It was just this little mini game. But I had to continuously just stir the pot. And he was like, don't stop stirring the pot, Noctis, or you'll burn the food for today. And you hear Gladio in the background. I really don't want that. It was great. I can't believe you didn't get that.
Oh, man. And I will search for it continuously because I'm going to do as many side quests as possible.
Well, it wasn't a side quest. It was just one of the...
things that pops
up. It's one of the... Oh, you're going to go on a training or a tour. They called it a tour.
Yeah, I think those happen when you sleep in almost every different spot. Each spot does something different sometimes.
Because I got a tour with Gladio, which was the race. Mm-hmm. I got the tour with Ignis, which was the food. And I got the tour with Prompto, which was to take a picture of a really giant animal and almost have it bite my head off.
You didn't do the second tour with Gladio? For the flower?
The second tour? Nope.
See? There's another big one.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No.
I won't. That one's, Gladio wants you to go get a flower for someone.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No, I never did that.
See,
I had the tour with Prompto where he wanted to take a picture of an adamant tortoise.
Yeah, when you go to different places and sleep.
The thing, literally, you had to wait there. You had a thing in your hand, and you had to wait there. And the thing just getting closer and closer. And it's the thing, the giant thing.
Oh, no, I know what it is, yeah.
And it's getting closer. It's getting closer. And Prompto's like, how long are you going to wait there? Like, and he's waiting for the picture. He's like, just a little bit longer. Just a little bit longer. And this thing's head is, like, right here. And it's going to kill you.
Yeah.
Like, this thing's level, like, 50. And it's like, just a little bit closer. And finally it got literally where I was here and it was here. And I was like, take the damn picture. I'm going to die. And Prompto was like, aww, you didn't let it get close enough. And I was like, how close did you want it? You want me to get my head chopped off? But now because I did that tour...
It's the charm of the characters.
Now because I did that tour, I'm able to fight those things. They come to me.
Ah.
So I have a key item now that allows those things to come out of the water so I can get their meat. Because their meat make a really strong
I like
food.
it.
Yeah. It was cool.
Ugh. All right. Well... that brings us.
Thank you guys for staying with us.
Yeah, if you're still here, I hope you're enjoying it. It's one of those we're rambling sometimes.
A little bit, yeah.
But it's because we're passionate about it.
Actually, you know what, guys? If you want me and James to start like a podcast talking about video games and stuff,
we can do that.
That is a very big possibility because that is a lot easier when he's in Kansas.
Yep. The far away thing won't stop me. I'll find a way.
He'll find a way to Oz.
Oh, yeah?
In Kansas.
Oh, okay.
Toto,
no, I knew
Kansas
where
anymore.
you were going with that. So.
Well, yeah, I was actually thinking of that because we talk well, as you can tell.
Yeah, and we enjoy talking about it, and it's just when you get enthusiastic about something, when you get passionate about something, you want to talk about it.
Exactly.
You want to talk a lot about it.
So my second favorite and is the main character, Noctis. I like him.
The Prince.
The Prince. He's, in the beginning, he's kind of like, well, I don't want to be a prince. Why do I have to be the prince? I don't want to be picked to be the prince. And everybody's telling him, you have to be the prince, you have to do this. And he really doesn't want to do it.
Mm.
His dad has even said, you have to be the prince. But his dad was good. Because his dad was like, all right, you're not going to do your princely duties. You're going to go to high school. You're going to have friends. And then once you have to do it,
hopefully you'll be old enough to deal with it by then.
Exactly. And he kind of got thrown into it.
Yeah.
He literally just got thrown into it. Everybody's just like, hey, you're the prince now.
Yep.
And he's just, or you're the king now.
Yeah.
And he's just like,
or as it were, the crown prince.
Crown prince, yeah.
Because
he's a Lucian.
Yeah, he's a prince. And then I believe before you receive an actual ceremony and whatever, a lot of people just refer to you as the crown prince because you're gonna be the king.
And he was going to marry the Oracle, Lady Luna Freya.
Beautiful.
Oh my God, she's gorgeous.
She's the heiress.
She is the heiress.
Aerith.
Aerith. Do you say heiress or Aerith?
Aerith.
You say Aerith?
Yeah.
I say heiress.
Oh, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
I'm the Final Fantasy VII fan. Oh wait, 7's your favorite too?
That's true. No.
No, 10's your favorite. So I'm right.
I was
you're
about
wrong.
to say you know what my favorite is.
Argue about that down there too. Eris or Aerith for Final Fantasy VII's beautiful summoner / healer.
She's a healer.
I always made her my summoner because she looks like a summoner.
Kinda.
She has the dress she has the dress and the rod and the bonk. We don't do the bonk. Anyways, different.
Sorry,
game.
yeah, we like we said, we could go off topic about just all these random things. So yes, Noctis. I'm not a Sasuke fanboy.
I know.
I said
neither am I.
A Sasuke fanboy.
If you're a Sasuke fanboy, leave a comment and I will tell you you're wrong. I don't like him. Moving on.
And I don't think he is very Sasuke-like.
No. He's just the flew for the hair. That's
because he's happy. He's, for the most part, he's a happy guy.
Yeah.
He likes his friends. He enjoys talking to them. I mean, there are points where he's just like, just stay away from me. And he talks just like that. He's very monotone. He gets to be very
almost
monotone.
Specifically is when they're kind of talking about the wedding and stuff. It's
Yeah,
kind of when he gets like that.
When they're just talking about taking pictures, hanging out, having fun, he's got a normal voice, he's a normal guy. He loves to fish.
Yes.
That is his
so
special
enthusiastic
thing. He loves fishing. And I enjoyed fishing. I actually spent quite a while fishing.
Yep. That is his mini game thing is fishing.
And it's fun. It's difficult.
You get used to it.
But it's fun.
You get used to it.
But I loved getting the different. You had different hooks to catch different fish.
Those are called
lures. I
Thank
know.
You. Yeah.
You had different lures to hook different fish.
Mm-hmm.
You had different strengths of line.
Mm-hmm.
You even got different fishing rods,
which was
and
usually
reels.
Which was usually due to some quest.
Yeah,
you could find the
fishing quests.
Find the rod,
same guy.
Yeah, find
Always.
the voiced by Loxus, actually, the same guy that is Loxus in Fairy Tail.
In Fairy Tail, really? Yeah. I didn't know that.
You'll hear it forever now.
Yeah,
I promise
probably.
you.
But yeah, when you do that, so I got stuck having to catch a gar. It was called. This thing literally, I threw it, reeled it in, broke my reel, broke it constantly, and I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me?
You didn't catch the gar?
Go fuck yourself.
I'm sorry, homie, but that's the very first special fish.
That's the third quest.
No, it's not. The gar is the first one.
Oh, well, you could probably do them in different orders.
Okay, maybe that's true. So you caught. Well, I don't know which ones you caught. They'll take forever to figure it out.
I've caught a few, so.
But yeah,
I had trouble with the gar.
The gar was meant to be the first one because it's right through the little rain area, and then you go right down to the area with those things with the big necks. Whatever.
Oh no, I did that one. That's not the gar.
Oh, it isn't?
No, that's the catfish.
Okay, I might be wrong. I might be.
The gar is over.
Bass backwards here. I don't know.
The gar is over by the volcano. But anyway.
Okay, I might be wrong.
No, I did that one. That one was easy.
Okay.
That one
I was like,
easy.
that was the first one.
No, anyway. The gar was literally, I reeled it, it hit it, and my thing went. It was really annoying.
I hope it made that noise.
I hope my mic can hear that noise.
My game never made that noise. I'm a little disappointed now.
Square Enix just hire me for noises.
Yeah. Just that one though. Put that in the game somewhere. Be great.
But But back to Noctis. I mean, unfortunately, I can't go through a lot of him without spoiling.
Yeah, he's got a lot.
Because he grows after Chapter 8.
Yeah.
After Chapter 8, the game goes very linear. No more open world, and it's all storyline. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't take that long.
Yeah, it jumps you through pretty quickly.
Pretty quick.
Yeah.
And he changes drastically throughout that time. Like I said, I don't want to say too much.
Yeah.
Because there's a reason why, and if you stick to the end of the video, I will say it. Mm-hmm. But Noctis is just... He got stuck in a shitty situation. He thought his girlfriend died. Mm-hmm. Which, that was horrible in itself. Then you find out she's alive, and you're just like, yay!
Poor Noct overall, as far as like the little bits and pieces here, I have a feeling they tried to make him relatable to the character by not making him say as much as some of the other characters, not give as much, and you do control...
Because they wanted you to be...
You know, you control his actions as far as fighting goes. You control some of his actions, like...
Control what he says.
Well, yeah, when they ask you certain things, you get to respond through him.
Yeah.
So, even though it's not one of those create your own characters and live through this character...
No.
It is meant for you to be...
experience Noctis.
It's his story.
Yeah.
So...
and
pivotal character, obviously.
This will be our next subject, but something that's pivotal to his character as well are the summons.
Oh, yeah. And that will be definitely the next one.